Hello and welcome to Sage's Retreat, a pleasant place for dad talk, gaming talk and all the awesome bits in between. Today is a news episode and also what we've been up to over the last 2 weeks. Sorry we missed an episode last week, but life likes to find a way to get in the way. Kids are off. Homeschooling is a priority. We've all been busy. We forgot what day it was, time it was, who we were, what we are, everything. It all went to pot, so we just decided to skip it. We've been doing a few other bits and bobs, inserting it into the channel anyway, so hopefully some of you, or one of you, anybody, even the cat, maybe has picked it up. But with me today is my co-host Nathan, aka the Lord Shade.
Hello. It's nice to see you all again.
I know, we're all here, thank you.
No,
so yeah, go for it.
Right, well, as you mentioned, we've been busy. Kids were off school, and so we got a little bit more free time. And people that watch us regularly, I'm talking to Adam and Terry mainly, they've probably noticed, and I've been there, we've been streaming a lot. And we've been specifically streaming Valheim, which we spoke about last time. And I think it's just took over his life, to be honest. I don't know how many hours you've got on it, but I know you've got a lot.
Me, over 80.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, that's my number I can give you. But that's because that's the last time I checked, which was yesterday, I believe. So over 80. I know you've got over 100.
I've got over 135. That was the last time I checked.
I feel a little bit like, I don't know, is that good?
Yeah, I feel as though you need to get your finger out. That's what I feel like.
Well, no, I've not been smashing the single player that much, and I've trying to not. I've been very conscious of the fact that I want to go on, and you're sitting down, and it's like, oh, what shall I do? I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and do that field or build that hut, or I'm going to improve that building. I did build. You've been doing a lot of the building on the because we've got a server, so you can play. The way to play it is that you can play solo, good old solo dolo, as they like to say. You can play just on your own with your map is local. It's just like a traditional single player game. Then what you can do is the other way. You can open up your single player game, put a password on it, like you host it. And you can invite people in, is what we did originally. But because we're hardcore, you know the score, bump to the whatever. What I did, because we were having issues with sort of like connection, and there was lag, and it was like sometimes you couldn't open the doors and stuff. Now it is early access, so of course we do that Star Citizen thing where we go, oh, but it's early access, so don't worry about the 400 billion pounds that's got into it, you know. Don't worry about that. Just because your door doesn't open, you know. No, it's early access. We're giving them a break, as we said. I mean, these server things. I don't know. I mean, how many players? Wait. One sec. So what I've done is I've actually hosting us. I've purchased a server. It's like £4 a month or something. And it's for most of the time it's improved our connection, and we can play a lot better now, can't we?
Yeah, loads better.
Yeah, but also the good thing about having a server is that if I want to go on it, I can. I don't need to host it for you to go on it. So it's literally there in cyberspace, and you can go on it, or I can go on it separate times altogether. And it's fully passworded, and it's perfectly safe. You can, in fact, open it up like publicly, can't you? But we're not going to be doing that. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I think a lot of the server issues maybe are to do with how many players have they got. Is it 1 million?
No, it's more.
Is it 2?
No, it's more.
Is it? Wait, 2.5?
No, it's more.
3? It's got to be 3.
Well, might be a little bit more. It was
4.
Yeah, it's 4. 4 million people have bought the game. That's over 4 million people have bought the game, with at any one time over 500,000 people playing it at once. So at a certain point in time, there was 500,000, just over 500,000 people
pretending to be Vikings, and I'm not on about them people that walk around the street with the long beards and the ironic Celtic sort of weird T-shirts on that think they're Vikings. I'm on about just normal people out there sitting behind their PC, because it is only on PC at the moment. I'm sure maybe it'll come to console, because let's be honest, they'll make a good amount of money on that, and then it'll be on mobile. I could see that as a mobile game, actually. Just like I could so maybe simplified slightly, but I could see that.
I can see it doing well on Switch.
Yeah, definitely.
Being a big Switch game,
Yeah, there was 500,000 people playing it at the same time, as they say, concurrent players. And it's one of the biggest with Steam, isn't it, in their history?
Yeah. I think it was ranked number 4 the other day. And it's...
Was it 4?
I don't know if it's surpassed CSGO on a few days, or it's nearly surpassed. I know it's surpassed Apex Legends, which is a free-to-play game. So it's managed.
I find Apex. Yeah, I can understand Apex Legends to be free. To be fair, but I mean the biggest point is the fact that it costs money now. How much was it? It's like
$15.49 or something.
Yeah, which is how many in dollar? How many in Trumperoonies?
$20.
It's not Trumperoonies anyway. It's Biden dollars now. Yeah, but not. Yeah, it's not a lot of money, is it?
No.
It's enough money to take a risk on a game that you see is popular. Now, I mentioned to someone, no names, because I'm not doing it. I was like, "Oh, have you tried Valheim?" And they were like, "No, it's early access. Early access games are rubbish. I'm going to wait." And I was like, "Well, I have this many hours on it. It's one of the biggest selling games. We've literally hardly come across any bugs.
Yeah.
The only bug that we found was the one, was your issue, wasn't it? What happened with you?
I got killed, and my grave must have just dropped through the floor and disappeared. So I lost all my stuff. That is a bug that they are addressing. I mean, in the last patch, there were something on it, but it said it's still happening. It's not fully fixed yet, but 130 odd hours with myself, and then call it nearly 100 hours with you. That's the only one. And the amount of times we've died, and it's not happened. It's only happened that once.
Like 4 or 5 times, probably.
Yeah, we've only died like 4 or 5 times every 10 minutes.
Every hour.
Yeah, because it is quite a difficult game, but it's rewarding as well. So that's what keeps you coming back. It's not too unfair when you die, so because you don't ever lose your stuff unless you're me and you encounter a bug. You never truly lose, so that's what makes it. That's what makes it good. Makes you keep coming back for a bit more. Yeah,
it's solid. You mean you know, your stuff is there. If you die in the worst place to die, let's be honest, is the sea, because it creates this little buoy, doesn't it? This little floating.
Yeah.
It's got like wood.
I like that touch.
But it's a little, like a little life jacket of wood around it. And you can get to it, and then obviously you can pick it up and get your stuff back. And if you die on land, it just creates this like gravestone / marker which glows and has your name on it. So you can go and get it. The only problem I find is if you die, let's say you die once with all your stuff, and then you go to rescue your stuff, like I'm naked, running through. Dodging the death mosquitoes, trying to get your stuff. Now, if you die before you get your stuff, initially, I mean, a lot of people might think, well, that's it. But no. So your original gravestone will be there with all your stuff. You'll get a new gravestone that will be empty, or maybe with a bit of food or something that you pick up on the way. But the problem is that on the map, now pressing M on the keyboard brings up a map. So on the map, it will only mark the last death. It won't. My eyes is accurate, isn't it? Am I right in what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you have to. We're having to manually do it, aren't we?
Yeah. So the big tip. I mean, if you are playing, the big tip. If you're new to it, the big tip would be to die. Instantly go on the map, double click where you died, and just put dead or first death, or my stuff is here, or stuff, or just put a marker on it, because if you die on the way to it, you will lose it. It's probably saved my stuff several times, although when we die we tend to hang around our stuff, don't we? Like if you die, I'll be local, or vice versa, especially in one of the more dangerous areas where you can die quite easily. But yeah, is there anything particularly you're enjoying about it? I mean, you've got 100 hours. Is there something, not as a review, I think we could do a review at some point, but if you were to just, what's the appeal? What's that? What's the big appeal to you in regards to this game?
Well, this is the first game I've had in, I want to say, years where I've thought about it when I've not been playing it, where I've wanted to play it again. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's got its hooks into me, it's got its claws into me.
So you're spending time with the missus and you're thinking, I'd actually rather go on that game for a bit. I say that quiet. I'd rather just. I'm having a pleasant time here, sitting here watching this program, but I'm thinking I could just pop on for half an hour, which is naughty. Yeah. But why is it dragging you back? What is it? Is there anything specific?
It's a culmination of lots of things, because I know we were talking a little bit about, before we started recording this, about story and stuff, and then just got me thinking. There is a story to it, but it's very, very light. Do you know? It's like there's not.
What is it? You died.
Yeah, you died, and then you've got to kill these bosses to win Odin's favour to then go to Valhalla. And that's basically it.
You're in Viking purgatory, aren't you? This kind of like weird middle ground of I'm not in Valhalla yet. I've got to do these jobs. I don't know if that's myself. How it works.
Yeah, well, in this game it is, and that's what Valheim is. That's the name of the purgatory. So that's the name of the game, and that's about it. But it's involving in a way that I don't think most games, even if you've got stories shoved down your throat, this one, it's light on the story, but it gets you involved and it gets you wanting to come back for more. Like, I'll plant these crops, I want to go and check on them. I'm brewing some potions, I want to go back to do that. I'm in the middle of building a building or a tavern or a farm or a windmill or anything. You want to go back and you want to check on what you've been doing and make sure everything's working, and you want to push forward and get better armour and get more resources and stuff like that.
I think it's a case of you work towards the next step, and then when it's like you're trying to reach something, but then you get it, but you've got it, and you know you can do so much with it, and then you want to then do that.
Yeah.
So it's like we've just managed to process black metal through the blast furnace, haven't we?
Yeah.
And then it's like, I now need to make my shield. I need to upgrade my shield. Then we need to do something in the plains in order to get linen, in order to then make the sword. It's like a never-ending. Yeah. It's like, what we got? It's like you said, we've got to do that farm thing, and you've already been on and started work on the farm. Without me, which is lovely, thank you. But that's it. That's your thing, isn't it? You're like, I've got this thing to do. I'm going to go and do it, and then you'll do it. It's like I said to you, we're going to work on the pub, like tavern, and I went on. I'm like, I'm going to do the tavern, because I wasn't doing anything for a few hours, so I went on and did that. That was something you did, the original building. That was our original home, which we then turned into the tavern via just a big extension.
Yeah.
I used that as a base for what I did in terms of size. I just made it like just over twice as the size, isn't it, internally? But that now is a very important part of our process of playing, because we've got the fermenters, the 3 big barrels. So in the game, you can just find food on the floor to eat. Then you can find food to cook. Then you can find food that you mix with other ingredients in order to make more powerful food items, which ultimately will increase your life when you go to do something difficult. You're going to fight a boss. You want as much life, so you're going to make that carrot soup. You're gonna have that Queen's jam. Or you're going to have whatever else it is. If there's nothing else, maybe a big piece of lox meat, because cooked lox meat, a large piece of that, will really boost you in terms of your health. You've got those 3 things, but then you might run out, so you have to get a raspberry, which, come on, it looks like a strawberry, everyone's saying it. So that's a big important. Also, it's now a main area full of our ingredients. You made me laugh so much when you were like, we don't need many chests, and in a way you weren't wrong, because the more organised you are, the less you need. But there's so much stuff, and as we're going along, there's more and more stuff to pick up. So we're ultimately, I mean, I've put a lot of chests there. I think we'll probably be fine with what we've got now. But we have sections where there's other chests. There's 6 chests over there. There's 2 there. We've got some in our own little private rooms in the larger building. The amount of chests we've got is just exploded. Yeah. But it's just to make your workflow efficient, isn't it? I even added 2 more chests in the tavern, which I was going to put cooked food in, because if I might change them into those reinforced chests that are bigger, just for cooked food, because I realised that we get so much raw food that we're losing chest space. So we need to maybe, and I'm thinking if we had a cooked food one, it might actually benefit us, because then we could just go straight to that, bang bang bang, here's our food, and then just kind of go from there. But yeah, it's crazy. It drags you back, doesn't it? Those little things. You went on and rebuilt the forest. What tends to happen is, doesn't it? You pick a base, a place for your main, because I think most people, they start. You're in the meadows. There's various areas, which is part of the progression as well, isn't it? Because anyone can live in the meadows. You can just lollop along, can't you? Naked in the meadows and just eat strawberries. But then you want more, so you go to the Black Forest, and then from the Black Forest, where would you go from the Black Forest?
Swamp it'd be next, and then mountain.
Swamp to mountain to plains, and I think plains is currently the kind of general end area, but then there is a southern area and a more northern area, I believe, which you can go to, but they're your areas, and then you have your. I think each one has its boss, doesn't it? And then you kind of. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It brings you back. I think it's one of the best games I've played in a while. I was playing Far Cry 5. Is it Far Cry 5 I was playing? I was playing Far Cry 5, and I played a few hours on that. And once I'd done the first big section, I was like, I'm actually good. I don't need to play. I've basically been repeating the same things. If I'd have my bow. I was buying stuff for my bow or for my guns, but ultimately I come to the point where I'm like, this game's just going to repeat this again, and again, and it's not. I'm not bothered. Yeah. So I'm not playing that anymore. I'm playing this. This game is what you make it, isn't it? And we've had some fun with it, playing those bosses, bringing people in. We've played with Terry, who was a massive help with the Bone Master. I think he probably did easily more than half the health, if not 3/4 of the health with that. But we were struggling. I think if we weren't to do it now, we'd probably be okay. But they've done an update. Tell me about that update. Give me some information.
Everyone complains that Bone Mass, which is the 3rd boss, is the hardest boss. And some of the other bosses, which if anyone watched the live stream last night, we fought the 4th, which is Modder, whatever it's called, the dragon, and we found that ridiculously easy compared to the other bosses.
We did discuss it though. We think that he might have glitched a bit and been a bit not. I think the AI kind of broke, but we couldn't tell. We weren't sure because we hadn't fought him. I think we're going to have to fight him again. And just see where that takes us. But he definitely seemed to glitch. But he's saying that he was on the floor, you hit him, he was in the air, you shot arrows, and it wasn't that difficult, was it? But what have they done? What have they done to these bosses? They've
tweaked them, rather than the first, and maybe not the second. I can't remember if they did or they didn't. I know Bone Mass, the dragon, and the last boss have all been tweaked to make them more difficult. So Bone Mass is even more difficult, which is not good. But I'll accept more difficulty on the dragon one for sure. We haven't fought the last boss, so I can't really say whether that was easy or hard. Either way, I've not really seen anything about that one. They've added a bit more stability to game with updates, so they are working towards stuff. They're quite regular updates, and they are quite transparent with stuff. And then a feature that we were asking for is when you move out of a server, move to somewhere else, any time you log in, your map marker, you don't show up to other people, even though it's a co-op game. You have to tick it. That now saves, so that saves us messing about, and it's not like. I mean, we've mentioned it a couple of times on stream. It's like, turn your map marker on. I don't know where you are, or we need that. So they've added that in. Well, I'm happy about.
Yeah, you feel rude, don't you? It's like you're in game. You come in game, and I'm looking. I'm going, where the hell's Nathan? And I go, Nathan, put your map marker on. And I feel like an adult lecturing a child, but because it's such a simple thing, it's also very simple to forget.
Yeah.
It should be default. You join a map, it should pop up. When you press map, you get the mini map, don't you? You should be able to just see them on there. Why would you not want to see your? Unless you're playing hide and seek, why would you not want to see your other players on the server? I mean, I understand if you want to unselect it, that's fine for whatever reason. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but. Yeah, definitely it should be on by default and switch it off. Although I think you should be able to share your map as well in terms of exploration. I don't think you map markers should be shared. I think because everyone has their own way of doing things. I think if you were to like, let's share map markers, I'd be like, well, whose do we share? Mine or yours? What, you know.
Maybe have layers. Do you know, like your map, other people's map that sort of goes transparent over the top, so you can sort of see where they've been. Where
or toggle it.
Yeah, so you can switch between them.
Toggle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean these are just nitpicks, aren't they? And the only complaint, my biggest complaint, which I keep going on about, is stamina. I think the stamina level should be like it's what it is now. I think it should be. I'm not going to say double. It should be more. You know, like you're hitting. You get into, let's say you get basically ganked. You're walking along and suddenly there's 4 enemies and you're like, you've blocked one, then you've got to attack and you're like bang, 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 and then you see some more and you're swishing your sword. Suddenly you have no stamina. And you can fix it via a stamina potion, but you can use it the once, but then you have to wait to use it again, which is another one of those punishments which I very much dislike. I just think that stamina needs to be a little bit more. Maybe with because you level up, don't you? So if you run a lot, your level of running goes up and up and up, or you jump. It's like a skill level which slowly goes up and up. Maybe you should be able to push that leveling up into an area. So like, I've leveled up. What do you want to do with it? Do you want an extra 2% health, or do you want an extra 2% to your stamina, or maybe attacking force or something? Have that balance. You know, like they do with a lot of games. Maybe they could do something like that, or maybe that's just going to get too complicated. Maybe you just get people that to end up working it in such a way and be too overpowered. But stamina is my only issue with that game. There's other stuff like stone costs too much. I think to do something in stone is a lot of effort. When you were building the larger thing, the larger building that we've got, I was basically I had to keep constantly supplying you with wood and stone, wasn't it? It was like, I need more stone. And I'd be like, okay. So I then had to go and get more stone. But because, you use your immediate area, it takes you longer and longer to pull in that stone. But yeah, other than very small nitpicks, I'd say that game is well worth, as it currently stands, as it is right now, it's well worth the £15.
Yeah.
Even if you went on it and you only spent, 20 hours, 30 hours with a couple of friends, you'd still be getting your money's worth.
Yeah, definitely.
Easy. I mean, we know people that have played it. Sam, if you're listening, I know you've played it for like 60 odd hours, and there are people that have played it 60 hours and are not going to play it anymore. But we've seen what you've been doing, and you've just been happily just sort of building and exploring and hunting, and that's 60 hours of pure enjoyment, for yourself. And if you stop playing it, that's fine. You'd get your money's worth. But we've probably got, we've got one more boss to do, plenty more building to do, lots of exploring to do. Probably expanding the base even more. We've got a big farm to do.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon by the time we've kind of like petered out, maybe the next update will be out, and then we can do more with that. So, or maybe we'll have a period where we don't sort of touch it for a little bit, just go on a little bit now and again. Because you smash a game too hard, eventually if it's not updated enough, eventually you do lose a bit of interest, don't you?
Yeah.
So
Get a bit of burnout on
but
it.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what we've been up to, is playing Valheim and not doing a lot else. But enough of what we've been doing. What's happening? So we're gonna quickly run through a bit of news. What's been happening that we find interesting. And if you don't mind, Nathan, I'm gonna start off with something that really annoyed me. Is Anthem. I'm going to jump straight onto... Now, we have a list of stuff that we go through on this and Anthems at the end, but I'm just going to jump it straight to the beginning because I felt it was something that I just wanted to talk about first. The trailer for Anthem. Let's just set up the premise, right? Destiny, massive game. EA's like, oh, we need a Destiny game. Imagine that you are a person. You get into a mech suit which can fly. Let's be honest, Iron Man. How cool is Iron Man? So you can fly around like Iron Man. You can go into the water. Remember that trailer? The Anthem trailer is beautiful. You fly in. You can land. There's various mech suits. You can kind of upgrade them. There's different weapons. Beautiful environments. This game, from the moment I saw it, which might have been 2018, maybe earlier, I don't know, but it immediately pulled me in as a game I wanted to get. And you also, I remember you also was really into it and getting it. We both ended up buying it. And looking back on it right now, I actually installed Origin earlier so I could look at my Origin account. I only played it, and you no doubt played it for more than me, I'm pretty sure you did. I actually only played it for 22 hours. And although I didn't finish all the stuff I could have done, I was kind of... I don't want to say I was done with it, but I played it and I was ready to keep on playing it, and I think we ended up playing something else. I don't know what was happening with that. But 22 hours isn't enough. I paid nearly £40 for that game. That's a game for me that I want to get 60 hours out of.
Yeah.
And so what's happening with Anthem now? What have they done?
Well, they announced, I don't know if it were 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, might have been a bit longer, that they were, I think it were longer actually, that they was starting development on next area of the game called Anthem Next. So they were revamping it all, sorting it all out, getting everything working, because when it launched there were a lot of bugs and not a lot of content, which they promised there would be, and they were supposed to have all these updates that added this content in, and it never happened.
It was lacking content, and it was also designed as a game service. What was it? I can't remember what they call it now. A games service,
Games for Life service
thing,
or something.
Where that game I think was supposed to last quite a few years. And then they would be slowly updating it with new stuff. Here's something new. Here's a new area. Here's a new mission. Here's this. There's this. There's this. Oh, look at this massive thing that's happening. Let's sort it. Yeah, so it was supposed to basically last quite a few years. And that would have been quite a lot of playtime. But, yeah, so you were saying they've been digging in.
Yeah,
and deciding what to do with it.
Yeah, so for that last week, I think they set out a thing saying... Anthem's future is going to be decided this week, and I think everybody knew at that point that they were going to cancel it. It's had bad press, but I think they were a bit of a player base that I would like to think us included as well, that wanted it to get better so that we could play it again, because we spent all that money on it. So
that's a game I could play. I could play a lot.
The mechanics
even
of the
now
game,
thinking about
I know I've thought the same thing. I've thought I won't mind playing it again, because it is quite good. It were bare bones in places, and I don't know how many hours I did. Probably not that much more than you. because I think I only went on it a few times on my own, and I felt as though I'd done everything. I felt as though we'd got most in it, but yeah, they said they were going to decide what they were going to do with it this week, and they've come out now and said they've blamed COVID. Basically, it's hampered development.
You can't just say you can't. Oh no, coronavirus is here, and we know it's affecting people. I get it, but how about they say coronavirus is here? Studio's a bit tits up. But what we do is we've got a roadmap. Next year we're going to jump on it. We don't want to let you down, and we're going to make sure we've had this content planned, and let's do it.
Yeah, no,
they haven't.
They would rather. Well, this is what they've said. They'd rather put their efforts into the new Mass Effect Legacy or whatever it's called, the remaster trilogy. And
didn't they cancel Mass Effect? Didn't they cancel Mass Effect for Anthem though?
Yeah, they did. Because
they stopped development.
IP. Yeah, so now they've just reversed it.
So EA, if you're listening, I know you're not. What are you gonna give me? What are you gonna give me? I gave you my 40 quid for that game. I played 22 hours, not a lot. I get it, but I was waiting for more. The time wasn't right. Whatever, because we always go back to games. So what are you gonna give me? Other than a middle finger and say, "Oh, sorry, we've learnt a lot. We've learnt a lot about because they put out some posts. We've learnt a lot from making Anthem, and all this. It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
You fucked up. You cancelled your game because no one's playing it because you haven't done anything with it. Maybe if you'd have actually thrown something at it, people would be playing it because a lot of that game was pretty cool. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed, and it makes me not want to buy a AAA game again.
Yeah.
It makes me want to go, no, I'm alright. I'm going to buy from a 5-man indie team that make a Viking game that has consumed my playtime for the last week or so. 2 weeks, whatever.
Time disappears when you're playing it, that's why.
I don't know. I being furloughed as well, not at work. I don't know what's going on with my time. Yeah. But the fact is, you just basically said that you don't care. Well, we care. Lots of people care. You know what you should do with Anthem? You should give it to somebody. You should say, you know what? Have this game. Take it. We don't want it anymore, so we're just going to give it away. Do what you want with it, and let somebody do something else with it, or sell it for like a $5 or something. I don't know. Yeah. Disgusting. I don't want to talk about Anthem anymore. Disgusting. What's next?
Some good news. Also about EA, but good news from once. They've filed for a patent, and they already do it with Origin anyway, but not in the same capacity. When you download a game from Origin, so you purchase a game, you download it, usually a certain percentage into the game, so you might have a 100 gig download, 20 gig down, or 10 gig down, so 10-20%, it lets you play the game. I know they do it with Battlefront.
It's core files, isn't it? Yeah.
Once the core files are in, it lets you play a section of the game, not all of the game, but usually just for Battlefront, it were like one level where you could be Darth Vader or something, and it let you get used to mechanics while the rest of the game downloaded. Or they might
games now on 10 gig, they're like 60 gig. I think that's why they're doing it.
Yeah, so they let you do that, which I always thought were a good thing. I didn't know why Steam didn't do something like that. But they filed for this patent, which allows you to, once you purchase the game, you can stream it instantly while it downloads. I mean, obviously you're gonna have to have very good internet to be able to do that, but you can stream it so you can instantly play the game. So whatever.
Yeah.
Anthem Next, if that were going to come out and you didn't have that, you could have that 100 gig download. That's downloaded in the background. You have there straight away playing with a friend who's also bought it at the same time as you, and until it's fully in, you've got that option to play it, which I think it's a good idea. We'll see how it pans out, but
patent wise, I think it's going to be an interesting one because there's already game streaming services out there. Nvidia does one, GeForce Now, and Stadia. 1 second on that one. I've already kind of done that, so I don't think that. As for putting a patent on it, I think that's going to be a strange one. Just offer the service and just offer it and stop fanning about.
Yeah, I think they're going to get around that by you're buying it and then you're allowed to sort of stream it because you're receiving a copy to keep. I think that's how they're going to do it. I mean, it's a bit shady that they are patenting it. Why not just do it and not patent it, and then everyone else, if they want to do it, if Steam want to do it, they can pick it up and they can do it, because it's not going to be accessible to everyone unless you've got loads of internet, which I obviously haven't. And most, I don't think
for me it's no different from preloading. You know, you buy a game a few days before, or a week or a month before, and then like a little bit of time before they go, right, you can download it now. I mean, and then you can play it on the day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not to be. It's just. Yeah. Are they trying to do it to stop streaming services?
It could be. It could be underhanded.
Because I think it could. Ultimately, I think it might affect some of those. But if you're only offering a streaming service, why should that be something that you copyright? That should be just something that you can offer.
Yeah.
You know, that's like Netflix going, only we can allow you to stream video. And imagine if someone turned around and went, yeah, what would that mean for YouTube? YouTube dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just die. I mean, they would never. I don't think they'd be able to do it. But we'll see. It's a good idea. I know you want to say something about Bethesda.
Yep, they are currently getting sued. Well, they have been since 2019, but it's only just come to light because it's finally going to court and everything. Basically, Fallout 4, massive game. Everyone's played it. It's been out since 2015.
Yeah.
Before the game came out, you could pre-order it, and you could also pre-order it like a season pass, but the season pass didn't have specified DLCs. It was quite vague. It mentioned, look at what we did with Oblivion and Skyrim and stuff, so we expect you to at least get $40 worth of content for the $30 that you're going to be paying for this season pass. It didn't specifically specify what it was, but said all content regarding Fallout 4 is going to be ours for £30 or $30, whatever it were. So lots of people bought it, and they were still offering this season pass all the way up to 2019 until this lawsuit started. I never bought it because it worked out actually that it was cheaper, and all the DLCs anyway for Fallout 4, I don't think they were that good. Some of them were good, a lot of them were crap.
As a package, they didn't all stand out, sort of thing.
No. You could pick and choose and pay a lot less than £30 for the DLCs that you wanted anyway. But obviously, if you bought the season pass, you would expect to get them all. But they did something a couple of years ago now. I don't know if it was 2017 or 18. Might be 18. Called Creation Club, and it's where users can submit ideas that they want to have on there, and you pay a subscription or something. I never really used it because I didn't see point to use these items which are added into the game. And even though Fallout 4 uses that, you think if you've got the season pass you get it automatically. You don't, and that's the issue. So that's someone suing. I can't remember his name, but he's basically suing because he wants this. It should have been available to him, and it wasn't available to him. So slap up wrist for Bethesda. He's been naughty again since Fallout 76.
Yeah, I think it's just there must have been a loophole somewhere.
Yeah, it'll be in fine print somewhere.
Yeah, where they say if we bring something out, because it's not like gameplay wise stuff, is it? It's not like here's game DLC. It's like we've got this really good idea. It's some extra thing. Yeah. Or you have to pay for it or whatever.
It's basically just different bed models, and do you know what I mean? It doesn't even really add anything to the game. It doesn't. That Creation Club, it's not something I'd play anyway. I didn't see point in it, but
I think it's important that it goes to. I think lawsuit wise, I don't know, but I think it's important that it's brought to light.
Yeah. Because
there are lots of shady practices with games, and like a bit of a shady practice would be Cyberpunk that we mentioned before, where they didn't allow console reviews, they didn't allow own footage. They basically said we've got some footage that is perfectly fine and not faulty. You can use that, and you can't use anything else. There's plenty of shady practices. It's like Star Citizen. People might be like, that's not shady, and in a way it's not, but when you look at it, it's like
It's unscrupulous. It's not. Yeah, it's not nice.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not nice. You feel like you're getting. Yeah, you feel like you're getting screwed over a little bit with that. Oh, it's early access. It will take time. How much time is it? Am I going to die before it's out? You know, and I bet you there are thousands of people that have.
Yeah.
Waiting for that game, and because of that, they should be ashamed of themselves because they died without being able to fly that ship that they bought.
Yeah. For 600 quid.
For 600 quid, yeah. More scrupulous behaviour would be Google with Stadia. They've basically not doing Stadia anymore. They've just gone. It's failed, rubbish. We're not doing it anymore. Stadia. I've heard plenty of people in some other podcasts and on YouTube say how much they like Stadia and how well it works. I don't like the business model of buying a game and not downloading it, and it only being available through this dongle or whatever and a joypad. I don't like that. For me, that's something I shy away from. But like if I bought all my stuff on Steam and then with like GeForce Now, you pay like $5 a month and then you can stream it in better quality. That's fine because you do own the game. But I don't like the Stadia model, the way they do it. But that's not anymore. They're not doing it anymore. Stadia's done. So feel a little bit sorry for Google's an absolute shitstorm when it comes to having a good idea and then just going, they didn't make us enough money. We're not sure what the future is. We'll just throw it away, and we're done with it.
Google Glass being one of them.
Yeah, because now you mentioned this, I forgot about this, but there's a game called Journey to the Savage Planet, and what's happened with that?
It's broken, basically. It needs lots of work on it, and Google, in their infinite wisdom, decided to sack the entire team that was working on it before they fixed it. And the game, which I don't know how it works, but I don't know if people's bought it. They can't play it, so they're going to get in trouble.
They must have purchased it in some way or another, and they wanted to fix the game. They're like, well, we want you to fix this game, and they turn around and gone, well, we can't because
nobody works here anymore that knows what it's about. What's happening?
Because we've all been let go, fired, released. Sorry, don't want, and we can't actually fix it anymore. Sorry about that. What is that about? They could at least bring them back for a few weeks just to see if they could fix it.
Yeah, but if you'd been sacked,
a quick look at this.
If you'd been sacked, would you want to go back and be like, yeah, I'll sort out it because you sacked me?
If I hadn't got a job, and they paid enough for me to go and fix it, then I'd go back and I would go back and have a look at least.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I guess the game shouldn't have been broken in the first place. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah.
So maybe they should be contractually obliged to fix it. I don't know. It's a funny one. What's happening with Cyberpunk?
Very disappointingly, because as you know, I quite like Cyberpunk.
The word disappointment and Cyberpunk should never go together.
They shouldn't. Because I know people had issues. I didn't have really any issues. So
dismiss that. Yeah. Dismiss that.
Yeah. And I've enjoyed the game, but I'm at a point in the game where I've stopped playing. I haven't played for about well over a month because I wanted to be able to compare how it looked before to how this update that come out in February, and I didn't want to burn myself out on it and use all content up. I wanted something to go back to when this update.
Because if you complete it, you might be like, I don't want to play it again.
Exactly, and I want because I want to know that they've upgraded the graphic, so them issues are the graphical issues and everything. And this is what the February update was going to be: a big performance boost, graphical overall, all this stuff. That was supposed to come out mid this month. I want to say 15th to 21st. It usually comes out about. It's like it did in January, and nobody's heard anything. I get Twitter updates from CD Projekt Red telling me when it's going to happen. I've got it on Discord server to ping up when Patchbot tells me that there's an update.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yo, Cyberpunk update.
Exactly. And then I know, turn my PlayStation on, get it downloaded in the background, forget about it, and then I can try it again. but nothing. And then I get a ping on my phone yesterday or the day before, press release from Cyberpunk. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do this due to circumstances which everybody already knows, and which I'm sure everybody who's listening knows. They got hacked. I think we spoke about it last time or the time before.
Yep.
They got.
They got cyberpunked.
Yeah, they got cyberpunked, and someone stole the source code for some of the game.
Hackerman.
Yeah, some hackerman, and auctioned it off for millions of pounds or whatever. And that apparently set them back. I don't understand how. I know they might be like panicking about it, and they've got to get someone in to secure stuff. But
did you save that file?
Yeah.
Did you save it? What? I was in the bathroom.
But
what?
The first thing I thought when I read it, you could put it up on screen. It's a three tweets because they've used on character limit on one tweet, so it goes over 3 tweets.
I'll see if I can find them. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll see if I can find them, and I'll put them up now.
Yeah,
and if they're not here,
it's basically a sub story. We've been dealing with that, and when I read it, I have just imagined for the last 3 weeks, or since it's happened, everyone at CD Projekt Red has run around like headless chickens, screaming, waving their arms, and not doing any work, because that's what it seems like. Because surely they should have been on it and get everything ready for this to come out, and now they're just explaining that it's going to be the second half of March when the update comes out. So,
I mean, at least it's next month. At least they haven't said it'll be in a few months. I mean, people have waited this long for Cyberpunk, and to get for it to release in such a bad state, and then to have this happen, no one's even phased. They're just like, what? We're not getting that stuff. Oh, okay then. That's fine.
I think if I didn't have Valheim to play, I would be quite peed off because I want to go back on it.
You'd be stamping your feet around that house. Your kids would be like, Dad, it's only a game. It's not a game.
I wanted to see the graphical fidelity upgraded, and it's
Look
just
at it. I want to see that woman's butt in better.
Panam, or whatever she's called.
That's
I did romance her actually. I finished all her storylines.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I don't get to see her bumming jeans in
well, hello there.
Better quality.
I like the LEDs implanted into your cheekbones or whatever else I'm going off with her. Yeah.
That's the chat up line.
Is that a cybernetic enhanced buttock you have there? I don't even know what's going off. I'm not. I played a bit, but I'll wait till it's all. I'll wait till it's fixed, and then I'll play.
Wait till March.
Wait
till April, even, just in case they get hacked again.
I'll wait till big PC update hits, and then I'll look and see what's going off. A bit of amusing news just on the end of it, which isn't like big gaming news, but it's definitely one to remember. Is that little kids on tablets, phones, consoles, whatever, make sure you password it, make sure you keep an eye on it, make sure you lock it up, no excuses. My wife was in hospital and couldn't monitor her spending on in-app purchases. So an 11-year-old girl ran up £2,400 bill on Roblox.
Good God.
Oh my God, that is a lot. That is a lot of cosmetic dresses and access to specific house builds on whatever they're playing. My daughter plays it. I even played a golf game on there, and it's actually really good. And we are going to play it one day. It's really good. But there's a lot of keep an eye on that because you've got young daughters who could do that.
Yep.
I've had it happen with one of mine with her iPad, and that's all locked up now. We actually contacted them and were like, "That's really dodgy. Sort your crap out." And that got fixed straight away. We got our money back. It was all sorted. There's a lot of Roblox isn't a dodgy app, a dodgy thing. They're pretty legit, but there are some that are really bad. Like you install it, it's a trial, but after a month, it will suddenly charge you £80 for like a year's access. So, and it's like, no, just no, stop it. App developers, there's plenty of money out there. There's plenty of ads to make a bit of money. Don't fuck people over. Don't mess people about. It's not fair. It's not fair on parents who don't have a load of money. That £2,400 could have been the last £2,400 in someone's bank account, and they might get messed up. So yeah, I don't even know. I want to quickly mention the Warzone update. There's a big ship. It's hit the prison area. There's zombies in it. get it downloaded, Nathan. We're going to have a go. I know you're not the biggest fan, but I know you do enjoy it when you play it.
Yep.
So we'll get that updated, and we'll have a few hours on that, have a good run round.
Well, my wife's asked to play it, so I'm going to download it on her laptop for her, so we will play it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I asked to because I wanted to test, because we've got a new laptop for her.
Yes.
And she's been playing Valheim. But I wanted to sort of stress test it, and so I was asking her which games she would like to play on it, and she mentioned Warzone, so I shall download that for her and see if it can play it.
Well, that laptop compares slightly to my wife's PC that she bought for her Open University course. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say, I think if you run it at 720 or 1600 by 900 with mostly low settings with a few medium, I think you'll get some good performance out of it. I'm talking over 30 frames. Mm-hmm. I know if any of you hardcore lot are going, oh my god, we need 60 frames. We do. I appreciate my 60 frames. And you hate me for it, Nathan, but I'm all about the 60 frames, especially when it comes to shooter games. Other games, not so much. Valheim, it's locked to 30 frames, and I'm having a perfectly fine time with it. Not an issue, although I did figure out how to unlock it to higher frames, and it did a lot better. But that's not the point. I'm sure at some point they'll unlock it, and they'll say, right, guys, it's all in now. You can do what you want with it. And there'll be people that want to play it on 44 hertz monitors, and they'll want those frames. So maybe at some point it will unlock. But as long as you're getting, for a game like Warzone, if you're getting those sort of like 40 frames-ish, you can play it. Yeah. Oh, you can play it okay. It's fine. Yeah, get her on it, and we'll, me, you, my wife, your wife, going to get ourselves a little foursome.
Yep. Get some plundering.
That's plundering. Yeah. That's what I meant. Yep. We'll get some blood. No, not plundering. That just makes it sound
blood money sounds worse. That's why.
I don't even know what that just went out the window. New Epic game. What is it?
Sunken Sea. Oh, Sunless Sea.
Sunless
It's
Sea.
not Sunken Sea. Sunless Sea.
Sunless Sea.
Yeah, a game I've wanted to play for a while, and I've never bought it because there's always been something else to play. But seeing as it's free on Epic, get it, download it, play it. Victorian Gothic ship game.
Yes.
I'm not going to do it any justice talking about it too much, but watch a trailer, look at some screenshots. The art style, beautiful.
I'll read the very small description of it.
Yep.
Lose your mind, eat your crew, die, take the helm of your steamship, so maybe steampunky, and set sail for the unknown. Sunless Sea is a game of discovery, loneliness, frequent death. It's just like life. Set in the award-winning Victorian Gothic universe of fallen London. So Victorian Gothic, it always looks a bit steampunky anyway, because that's kind of definitely massive. That's like 90% of it is Victorian London, I think. And then cogs. Wear glasses.
Yeah. Top hats.
But you mentioned it, and I had a quick look at the trailer for it. It looks really good. Free on Epic. Got PC, download it. In fact, every week, check your Epic stuff and make sure you download it. But yeah, I'll be getting that. It's single player as well, isn't it? So,
I think so, yeah. And free's always worth it.
Most
so have it.
Yeah, definitely. Even if it kills an hour or two of your time, a free game. It doesn't look like a big install either. It's probably less.
I think it's
like a game that'd be
350 meg. I've already downloaded it.
I was going to say less than a gig. So yeah. But yeah, I reckon that's about it for our news today.
Thanks for joining us. Drop us a comment on your thoughts on Valheim, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to hear more from us. I've been Nathan.
And I've been Lee.
And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us on this episode. You can find us on various podcast platforms, including Spotify and Google Podcasts. Come and find us on Facebook, YouTube, and also we now have a Twitch channel where we're going to attempt to do a weekly stream.